Hello, fellow Star Wars fans. It is Starrapter here, and as always, I'm very excited to talk about this week's Star Wars comics. We have a Darth Vader issue as well as a Dr. Aphra issue to get into this week. But before we get into those, make sure if you like this content, you go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you'll never miss out on any future Star Wars comic book reviews, plus much more. So let's get into it. First things first, we have another issue of Darth Vader. Now, this is issue number 21 called Return of the Handmaidens. Yes, we have Sabe returning from episode 1. We've seen her before in the Darth Vader run of this current series, but let's get into it. We have lots of intrigue going on. We start off with Ochi at Bestoon having been held at gunpoint by Sabe, who is also part of Crimson Dawn. And Sabe is showing how much of a boss she is when it comes to Sly Moore and Ochi of Bestoon, and she literally electrocutes them and makes them do her will, makes them do her bidding as they have to answer questions pertaining to Darth Vader. Remember, she's trying to figure out what's going on with Vader. She wants to get revenge on the killer of Padme, so she's trying to do that with Darth Vader. Meanwhile, we have this whole thing going on where Ochi is playing both sides. He's working both with Darth Vader and working with Crimson Dawn. So we see lots of things going on with these new troopers, these heroes that Darth Vader has recruited, as well as these assassins. They go out on this other mission, and it's really like kind of a lot of double agent work going on in this issue, where we have some things that were planted by Ochi with General Ramadi, who ends up kind of trying to backstab against Vader by having these dark troopers. And next thing you know, Vader finds out that Ochi was the one that tipped off Ramadi to put those dark troopers there to endanger his own troops, and he doesn't appreciate that much. But Ochi is basically a tool for Vader, so he uses that to his own advantage. He finally finds out that Ochi is part of Crimson Dawn and uses him as a tracker to get to Sabe, who then he turns the tables on her, and since she has been manipulating him by having these fake records of these different fake Crimson Dawn agents, he is going to have her and Ochi work for him, and that's where the issue ends. So yes, it took me a couple reads to really get through this issue because there's a lot of things going back and forth, and it is kind of easy to miss out on certain details. But I do appreciate that Greg Pak is spinning a kind of story that we haven't really seen to this degree in Star Wars. Of course, we have Byler and Valence in the mix there. But I did enjoy seeing Sabe so fierce and so powerful as one of the Amidalans. Remember, this is the first arc that we're met with the Amidalans who try to kill Vader, and he basically wipes them all out on Polis Massa. So yeah, lots of cool things with these characters. I'm very interested to see how Vader works with Sabe once again, now that she knows a little bit more about Vader and who he really is. Next up, we have Dr. Aphra, issue number 19. This is called Ascension. And in this is a really great kind of flashback issue where we learn a lot about the backstory of Kho Phon Pharrus, who is this character that is a backstory with Dr. Aphra and Son of Stars. So this character is also working for the Archivist, who works for Kira in Crimson Dawn. And well, Kho Phon Pharrus is trying to go after this weapon that is called the Spark Eternal. And we learned in this issue that the Spark Eternal is this artifact that was created by the Ascension, who are these people that are almost like dark side cultists, if you will, kind of like a Sith Eternal in the back in the day. And they have this device that supposedly can turn people into a Sith. I don't know how that's going to work. I feel like it's going to be a gimmick towards the end of this story. But suffice to say, that is the big MacGuffin of this story. So we have this character of Kho Phon Pharrus, who goes back to the University of Barleth, where that's where we think that thing is. And that's where the flashbacks start. And that's where the framing of the story starts, right? Is like, oh, Dr. Aphra is reminiscing to the times when she met Kho Phon Pharrus and completely kind of got this person manipulated to do what she wanted to get some different artifacts from the Sava, which is the teacher, the Sava's room, whatever. So it's a really cool story because we're seeing this interjection between like past and present throughout the story. And it's nice to get that villain story of Kho Phon Pharrus, which is done so well in this single issue of like, hey, she or they were duped by Aphra, so that's why they have a grudge against Aphra. So I think that's pretty neat to actually see why this person would be so hateful against Aphra. And then we get some cool things where we have Aphra that's getting called back by the character Dominatag, and then Dominatag gets no answer for Aphra, and now is going to send Boosh out to get Aphra, because Aphra doesn't want the character of Dominatag to get use of the Spark Eternal, because the Spark Eternal will end up making her very powerful, and she's already powerful as it is. So it's really interesting. By the end we get to this issue, there is the temple that's underneath the big Barleth University, and that's where the actual unyielding heart is, which is said to lead to the Spark Eternal. So they were looking for an item, you know, Aphra and Kho Phon Pharrus. It turns out that the entire room, this tomb, was actually the heart. So that means the Spark Eternal is indeed inside the Ascension Temple. So there we go, another solid issue by Alyssa Wong for the Star Wars Dr. Aphra series. It was a good, solid week overall for Star Wars comics. What were some highlights this week that you guys want to talk about? Let me know in the comment section down below. Have you been enjoying my comic book videos? I would love to hear your feedback as well. And if you do enjoy these videos and you aren't already subscribed, then what are you waiting for? I talk about Star Wars all the time on this channel. I also have my Outer Rim Transmission podcast that I do with my buddies Milton and Ben every single week, so you can go ahead and check us out live every Friday at 9 o'clock Eastern. You can download those episodes in any podcast catcher. So that's gonna do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.